Hello friends, so I'm making a video on this beautiful hairband. So I would be using satin. You can work with any fabric of choice, but I'm working with bridal satin, 1 inch Crinoline, 6 inches Crinoline. I will use the headband as skeleton. I'll use some hot glue as well uh, for my finishing. That is candle glue. All right, and then the length of my fabric, I've showed it before, is 12 by 58. So what I have here, the length is 58 and then the breadth is 12. So on a fold of 2 is 6 by 58. So I will add inside the 6 inches Crinoline, and then I will add the 1 inch Crinoline on the edge. So you can see that I started by ironing it. So with that iron, I'll be able to determine the midpoint very well, and then the Crinoline will be resting on that midpoint, and then the 1 inch Crinoline as well will still rest on that midpoint. And while I do that, I'll try to um, use my pin to guide the 1 inch Crinoline, so that because Crinoline will try to push away Crinoline. They are not friendly to each other, so you have to try to look for something to hold it down. So you can use pin. In short, I used needle, so I held it down. After that, I put fat. This is a gum. Once you iron it, it's going to stick to it. If you ask me if this is very compulsory for it, I'll say no, it's not. But what will it help me do? It's just going to help me stick the edge, so that it will be very flat and neat. If you are going to be applying it, it takes time and it requires care. So if you are applying it, you have to really be careful with it as you are putting it, because if you are not careful, it can make the edge rough instead of being neat. So now that I'm done applying, look at how the edge is. It cannot hold it down, you need to sew it. So you can sew on two places or you can sew one. Me, I'm not sewing on two places. I just want to sew the ending. But some persons can sew the beginning and the end, but that ending is perfect for me, so I don't really see any need why I should repeat the sewing. All right, so if you feel like it can also be a kind of design, if you want to do it that way, that is to double stitch it. So because of the 6 inches Crinoline, you can see that it has weight. Then another thing I went ahead to do is to make sure that I flatten the fabric. If you don't sew it down like this, by the time you are gathering it, the fabric will be rising up. It will not be flat. So you try to like sew it like that. So to achieve this full pattern of hairband, I will need two pieces of this. All right. So I first of all went ahead to wrap my headband. I went ahead to wrap it using same fabric. So I went ahead to use the same fabric to wrap, applying hot glue, and after that turning it round and round and round, and by the time I am done, I just used my hot glue to conclude it. It will soon come up for you to see. All right, so I'll just try to show you how it will begin to bounce out as you pick, because of what you have added on it: the Crinoline, 6 inches, 1 inch, and then the fet. I repeat, I said the fet is not compulsory. You can just fix your 1 inch Crinoline and carefully sew it down. It's okay. You don't need to fix a fet to it. So I'll just wrap the headband. I don't think wrapping of headband is difficult. We have different ways and patterns through which we wrap headband. So whichever one you decide to use is perfect. All right, so I just went around it by rolling it through. Keep wrapping, turn, 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 turn And by the time I got to the very end, I stick it down with the hot glue and I was just through. So it's very easy. So to achieve this pattern, I'm going to show you two different ways you can achieve it. First of all, you start by closing the fabric like this, that is, sew it close, and then you pick it round using the loose stitches. You just pick it round. So because the pattern is doubled, the roses is doubled, you can decide to sew it round and do it separately, as in pull this together, pull the other one together separately, and then you now bring the two together and sew it very well. One good thing about this one is that both the front and the back will be very neat, because you will be using the two rough parts to close on each other like this. So both the front and back is normally very neat. Then this is another pattern. You open it up and put one inside the other. So you put both of them together just like this, circular. I told you you have to close it, so you will not have challenges trying to like finish up what you've done. So when you put it up like this, you now pick it together with your loose stitches. You pick it together with your loose stitches. This is neat and the other one is neat. The difference is this pattern is more relaxed. That is, when you put the two together, it is more relaxed compared to the other one. But both of them can come out as a design. So they will only have different look, but both of them are beautiful. The final pattern I used was this particular one. So I fixed both of them together at once and then use my loose stitches, pull it together, pull it very tight. You have to ensure that your thread is tight, your thread is thick. So the thread you are using should be very thick. Don't do your thread into two and you think you can pull it together, it will cut on the way. So you have to like do your thread into four before passing it through your needle. By the time you fold it, you'll be getting eight. If there's a way you can even get more than that, is okay. All right. So when you pull it tight together, you sew it and ensure that no part of it is going to loose. Sew it very well. Keep gathering it and sewing. Gather it together and sew. Then finally you hold it down very tight. Cut off the thread and you'll see how both of them look very well sticked together. So you can pull it up to raise the roses. It will make it look very full, and it look like heavy, make it look very full, and the pattern or the design will really come out very well. So this is it. You just simply attach it to the headband and like this we are through. Because it's neat, you might not need to add any embellishment to close the finishing. But if you want to, as in if you feel like adding any embellishment, you can go ahead. But you can just finish up this without having to add any embellishment. If you feel like putting stones, fabric stones on it, you can go ahead and do that as well. On the body, you can just stone the body. If you don't feel like this hairband is fine the way it is, so if you don't feel like adding stones to it, it's perfect. But if you add stones to it, it will make it more beautiful. But if you don't even add, it's okay. So I made one mistake that I wish to correct. You see the part that I'm using my fire on, the lighter on, it wasn't really necessary. I made a mistake of turning it. I was supposed to use the wrong side to face the wrong side, so that on both sides I have the front. You understand? So the way the front is neat now, that is how this back is supposed to be neat. But because I made that mistake, I had to start using my lighter to burn off the rough part and then press it down. So if you are doing your own, please use the wrong side to face the wrong side. I did not even know how I made this mistake. So, but I just have to like finish up this production. And of course, it's just a training video. I cannot hand over this to my client. Understand? So it's just a training video. So I expect that you take note of it and make corrections about this particular one. All right, so that's this is it. I'll simply fix it on my band, and I will be through. And by the time I was even done, it was beautiful. I love it, and I know that when you look at it, you'll see it and also know that it's beautiful. So this will be all for today's tutorials. I just want to use this opportunity to welcome all the persons that are discovering Creative Ends International for the very first time. I truly appreciate you. Thank you very much for choosing my platform today. And please do not forget to subscribe to our channel before leaving today. And one very important thing is the fact that you need to hit on that notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we upload new videos. All right, so I'll see you in my next video. Enjoy the rest of your day. From my end is bye. Do have a nice day. Love you. Bye.